Non-broadcast media can be educational DVDs, video games, interactive CD-ROMs, or internet media clips. These are usually not aired mainstream. Non-broadcast media is a great way to make money and to build your resume. And if it's union, it can be a great way to get your SAG card. Student films provide better casting opportunities and are a great way to gain experience before you join a union. Both union and non-union actors can do student films. But keep in mind, when you do a student film, everyone is still learning, so the production may take a long time to complete. So if you're someone who is easily annoyed or impatient, don't do student films. Most mainstream student films are produced by the AFI, American Film Institute. You have a better shot at being cast with AFI if you're a SAG Conservatory member. The Conservatory is a network of union members who provide free workshops and classes. The SAG Conservatory will submit your headshots and resume to the AFI database. Doing student films can be beneficial in the future. You never know, one of these student directors may one day work for a major network.
Here are some tips to get started in stand-up comedy. Note-taking. Keep a notebook and write down everything that strikes you as funny. Fourth wall. Unlike acting, there is no fourth wall where you can ignore the audience. There are no walls in stand-up comedy. You share your jokes with the audience. Audience laughter. Give the audience a chance to laugh. Don't step on your own jokes. If they're laughing like crazy, just stand there for a moment and hold a funny expression. There are 5 basic attitudes that each comic uses in their sets. There's fear, aggravation or annoyance, weird or confused, difficulty, and just plain stupid. When you're doing your set, just make sure your attitudes are clear. Another good technique that many comics use is contrasting emotions. For example, I love it when my mother buys me ripped pants from the discount store. It's like automatic air conditioning for my groin. Do women have groins? New material. Always try to put a brand new joke in the middle of a set you already know is funny. You don't want to try out all new jokes just in case they all suck. If 1 out of all your 7 jokes was crappy, you still did pretty good. Time limit. If the club talent coordinator tells you that your set is 5 minutes, do only 4.5 minutes. If your set is 10 minutes, do 9. This will give you that in case something happens time to recuperate or make an improvised comment. When that stage light starts blinking, wrap it up. Staying on longer than you're supposed to is cutting into the next comedian's time and messing up the show schedule. If you make a name for yourself as someone who goes over their time limit, club owners won't invite you back. Picking on the audience. Don't pick on an audience member who didn't ask for it. Only abuse others if you can abuse yourself too. And if you're going to do it in a good-hearted way. Laugh with them, not at them. It's actually more effective to pick on audience members who are laughing a lot already because they'll be the ones likely to laugh more when you pick on them or their family. Act outs. Instead of describing your mother or dog, do an act out. Be them. Create a character that is very different from yourself. People love that. Relative jokes. Try to do a set that your audience can relate to. If you're doing a show at a nursing home, they're not going to know who P. Diddy is. You're lucky if they know who they are. Talk about something that they either know or can understand. You don't want to have to explain your jokes on stage. Comparisons. Try comparing 2 things that are similar but don't really relate. For example, Ricky Martin and your grandmother. Ricky Martin started singing when he was 12 and maybe your grandmother sings like she's 12. Shake your bun bun, shake your bun bun. Hecklers. Learn how to take a joke. You may come in contact with a heckler, which is an obnoxious audience member that screams things out while you're performing. Don't scream at them the first time they blurt something out. You could wait until the 3rd or 4th time, and then you could totally curse them out, and the audience will be on your side. If you yell at them the very first time they say something, the audience will think you're a hothead. Props. Props can be great if you use them well, but if you describe how something looks, it's usually funnier than actually bringing a prop. Offstage action. If something funny happens off stage and at least half the audience did not see it, do not comment on it. If someone spills a beer and 3.5 people saw it, everyone else in the room is not going to know what the heck you're talking about, so don't do it. Don't make a comment about it. Callbacks. Callbacks are very common in good comedy. After you made a reference or said something really funny, you could bring it back later as part of a different joke. Setups. All of your jokes should have some type of setup. A setup doesn't necessarily have to be funny. It's really supposed to catch the attention of the audience before your punchline. Agents. You don't really need to hire an agent if you're a stand-up comedian. Most professional comedians think it's a waste of time and money. The clubs are the key, and the number one focus at all the clubs is money. It's simple. All you have to do is call the club and ask them which night you can perform. You do a few bringer shows where you have to bring anywhere between 5 and 15 people to come see you. They pay the admission fee and purchase their 2-drink minimum. Once the clubs realize that you can bring in a decent crowd and entertain pretty well, they'll invite you back to do some pro shows and perhaps even pay you later on. Performance time. Amateur comedians usually perform 5 to 7 minute sets. Experienced comedians usually get 7 to 10 minutes. Pro comics and MCs perform anywhere between 10 minutes and a half an hour. Networking. Because you have to do so many bringer shows to get your stand-up comedy career started, it's a good idea to network. Many stand-up comedy instructors suggest that you keep doing the same material over and over until you get it perfect. Well, if you want to perform 4 to 6 times a month and you keep inviting the same 10 people, they might not want to pay the $12 admission fee and spend $30 in beverages to come see you do the same jokes over and over again. So, networking with other comedians can be very beneficial. They come to your shows and you go to theirs. And what's great about it is you can get feedback from one another. And you don't have to feel like you're pulling teeth every time you ask your friends to come out and spend money every week. Don't steal material!